You mean we're going to have to do it soon? I asked, feeling my whole body tense. I don't want to have to change Kokichi. Living as a vampire is no easy thing to do, and I'm certain he wouldn't like it that much if he were to change into one. Sure, you get new powers and abilities, but you also can't let anyone else know or they could potentially kill you.
Yes, if that vampire has already pinpointed you and Kokichi, it won't be safe for him to be at a disadvantage because of how he isn't a vampire,
She said with a small hum. I looked over my shoulder at Kokichi, who was sleeping. Will it really be worth it if I have to change him just to protect him? Do you know something about the vampire that came to get Kokichi? I asked, feeling a little skeptical of the way she was talking about that man. Her eyes widened a bit before she sighed.
Yeah, I know that vampire who came to your school. I hate to admit it, but all vampires that are bound to one another don't get along as well as you and Kokichi do,
She said, looking over at one of the pictures hung on the wall. I followed her gaze and saw a picture of her smiling while there was another male next to her, but his face was scratched out. So all bonded vampires don't share the same feelings me and Kokichi have. I wonder what must have happened with him and Cathy to make them stay apart from one another.
You still seem like you want an explanation,
She said, looking at my face. I blushed a bit and turned my head away from her. Yeah, I'm curious about what must have happened, but if you don't want to bring up painful memories, then I don't have to, I said before she grabbed my arm and pulled me towards the wall. She was walking pretty quickly and the wall was getting closer and closer. Cathy, I didn't mean to offend you or anything. Don't... I started, only to stop when she walked through the wall, taking me with her. I was in awe at what I saw on the other side of the wall. There was a nice forest where there was a couple in a house a little ways away from us.
It's best to just show you,
She said, walking over to the house. As we got closer, I realized that it was her and the other vampire. They were laughing and talking on the couch before Cathy gently kissed him on the lips. He pulled back moments after as his phone rang. I looked through the window, feeling my curiosity grow.
Sorry, I have to take this,
He said coldly. The younger Cathy just sat on the couch looking down at her hands. I felt sorry for her and wanted to go in there to make this stop. I saw Cathy get up from the couch and go to where the male went. He was talking on the phone and I could make out what they were saying pretty clearly.
Veronica, I'll be over later tonight. I just have to take care of some things with the dumb bitch I'm bonded to.
He paused for a moment, making me realize he wants to take our bond because he wants to be bonded with Veronica, even though he was already bonded to Cathy. Cathy soon moved to where he was with tears in her eyes.
You lied to me!
She screamed, making him awkwardly cover his phone. She stomped over to him and grabbed his phone before shattering it on the ground.
You said you changed!
She yelled again, as he was on the floor picking up the pieces of his phone.
But I guess I can even fall for the same lie twice,
She said, before shoving a ring into his hands and leaving the house. She ran past the both of us and we ran after her. She eventually stopped in the middle of the forest and broke down into tears.
Why can't anything ever turn out good for me?
She said, screaming into her hand. I felt the same pain in my heart from the idea of Kokichi leaving me for another. We are destined to be together. A bond is a sacred thing, but she is right. Some things are just a lie. Cathy soon took my hand again and brought me back into the hallway of the house.
Shuichi,
She said, turning to face me. What is it? I asked, seeing some tears in her eyes.
you better be the best you can be for Kokichi. Because without your bonded partner loving you, you feel broken all the time, so please.
She paused, grabbing onto my shoulder.
Take good care of him and love him as much as he loves you,
She said, before moving away from me. Cathy, I called out to her. She stopped in her tracks but didn't turn to face me. I'm sorry that he did that to you. I will give it my all to show Kokichi the love he deserves. I said, clenching a hand while it was held against my chest.
I'm glad,
She said, before walking downstairs. I felt so broken for her. She loved him, and they were bonded together, and he just left her like that. That damn idiot!
Shuichi, where are you?
Kokichi yelled from the other room. I quickly rushed into the room to see him holding his pillow to his chest, with tears in his eyes. Kokichi, what's wrong? I asked, moving to his side. When I sat down on the bed, Kokichi got into my lap and buried his head against my shoulder. I didn't say anything to him before I felt some tears on my shirt.
I just had this feeling of shame and worry come over me, so I was worried that maybe...
I cut him off by placing my lips on his own. I would never leave you. I love you more than the air I breathe. I love you more than any stars that light up the night sky. You are my Kokichi. You are my everything, I said, before gently kissing his cheeks, making him laugh a bit.
You are an emo poet under all that, Shu. I knew it,
he said in a teasing tone. I blushed a bit before kissing him again. I know you love it, I said before rubbing his shoulders.
Yeah, you got me there,
he said with a sigh. Soon after, I saw his eyes grow heavy again. Tired? I asked, before he looked at me, before falling against me. Well, that answered my question. I laughed a bit to myself before tucking him into the bed again. I kissed his forehead before joining him.